Hey guys, we are back with a special unboxing. We are taking a look at a board game this time. Normally I do models or role-playing games, but there's very few board games out there that I like. I enjoy definitely the more like Gloomhaven ones or that anime version of Gloomhaven where it's miniature based, kind of like a D&D in a box. But this one caught my attention because it's based off of a very silly game that I like. I think it's one of the few card games that I actually like. So with that, let us get us right into this big old box here that's forced me to sit on the floor called Tales of the Red Dragon Inn. Okay guys, so this is Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. This is a skirmish board game slash a campaign board game based off of the card game of similar name. Huge, as you can see. You have your side and you have your back here, which kind of explains all the base characters that you get in it, the cards, stuff like that, how to play. Nice big. The miniatures themselves look pretty great. As you can see here, the board and stuff. And as they say at the top here, no Dungeon Master need, because this does something really cool. I did quickly flip through this just to see and make sure everything was there, just to see what it is, because it intrigued me. And this is a campaign-based game, but unlike Gloomhaven, where you, as far as I'm aware, where you write on the cards and stuff, this is kind of like more like Risk Legacy, where you unlock things and missions and stuff as you play, but not necessarily affect the stuff physically. And I like that. As somebody who's nervous about living games where you have to mark cards, rip cards, stuff like that, where I have to buy 2 of those or find ways to like use sleeves and Mod Podge stuff, this is going to be very easy on the OCD level of that. This is going to be your nice relief from that in a fun, silly yet serious game. So if you have people who really like D&D, Gloomhaven stuff, and you want to kind of play some sort of fantasy world game like those old ones, especially the one back in the day with like the VHS tape, but you don't want to go too heavy into Gloomhaven or setup and stuff like that, you just want to play a quick fun drinking game, this is going to be the game for you. Ooh. So first red flag I can say from the quality. The box is really nice. I don't know if it's the temperature or the quality of the box or just where I live, but the sticker coating, you might be able to hear it, and you can kind of see it too. The sticker that covers this top box has come off from the cardboard. So there is that, so keep an eye on that. I'm gonna have to talk to Slugfest about that. Ask them what should I do, how do I fix it. I think I pushed it back, I guess with just like a bit of hand heat and rubbing it. But keep an eye on that, though it is, again, like on the inside here, it is wrapped around, but that is something I guess to keep an eye out, that your sticker on your box may come off. Oh yeah, it just went back on. So yeah, just be careful with that. Temperature will affect this box, though again, it is really nice. So here we have our book, and just like your normal sort of like your normal Gloomhaven games, you have sort of like, hey, read this first, this is what you get, this is all the things you can use. So like your rule book, how everything kind of works in it, your stat cards, your different characters. They're definitely gonna release, if this isn't just a one-shot, which it might be, I kind of hope it's not. I hope they add another expansion or 2 to this, but they'll add more characters. But it basically plays it, explains things. It uses dice instead of cards, which I'm kind of happy for that. And I do love the card system for Gloomhaven, but I do like dice from time to time. So if you want a Gloomhaven, but you like D&D a little bit more, like 5e, Pathfinder, and you like dice, this is basically a one D&D version of Gloomhaven. So you're met with this box. This is laid out the exact way that I got it. So I put everything back the exact way. I didn't open anything. So we get into this. This says open first, so we're gonna open it first. So here we are. We are going to open this up here. This is says open first. So we're gonna figure out why we're opening this first here. So it just flips open. There's a little flippy here, and as you can see, we're met with a bunch of stuff. So we'll get to the miniatures after. This is kind of forcing itself. I'm just kind of to the side here, but we have a big old bag of bags. That's concerning. There's probably going to be maybe an insert made at some point for this game. Again, this just came out as far as I'm aware, or at least came out where I am. So maybe there'll be inserts later on. We have what looks like to be our character cards. So they kind of give you like what they do, their quick leveling up, and their wounded stats. So it looks like things happen when as you get wounded. Here's about bunch of different cards here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six heroes, and of course you get your animal companion for one. Each one of them has their basically in-game upgrade tree, so as you play the campaign, these are one of the few things that you might actually mark. But again, you can just use sleeves or tape, you know. You have Epic Pool, so I don't know what this is. Something we'll learn about later on in the game. And it looks like the first baddie that you fight is this guy. Or maybe he's a character that came out for the Kickstarter, who knows. Then we have this really nice laminated bag, or vinyl bag here. Don't know what that's for. I'm just gonna stick the cards in here. This might be for the main things like tokens and dice. Maybe it's a blind dice pull system. We have ability cards, I'm pretty sure. NPC cards. So this is a robot that you get to play as if you do a solo mode, which unlocks later on in the game. And one for your if you're playing the druid character, your NPC rabbit here as a card. So I'm gonna put those back into their sleeve. Just put that back in the bag. Next off we have is dice. These ones, there's different ones, different colors and different abilities. We have our different sides. Some are blank. Is this battery just toast? Did I fry the battery on this camera? But here we go. So that's kind of cool. So it uses unique dice. We have a big old bag right here for that. And we have, so it's a mix of cards and dice. Again, it makes sense because it's, you know, the Red Dragon Inn. So that looks kind of cool. So those are kind of interesting. Into the bag they go. And then we have modifiers or upgrade cards, I'm guessing. I'm not going to open this up just because I don't know what it does. So some cool upgrade cards. And last but not least, as I put some of these back, there you go, we have standees and different color standees, I guess, to represent enemies and friends and stuff. But lastly in this box, we're going to look at the minis. So we have the miniatures here. Very much like CMON quality models, like really good for what they are. So we have like the elf wizard there. We have the orc barbarian here. Very little mold lines to none, and if there is some, you can easily clean them off. They're like that. So all the major players have, just like Gloomhaven, have minis. I think this might be a take on Gloomhaven, but for Red Tail, like for Red Dragon Inn, because I know Red Dragon Inn itself is kind of a parody of role-playing games. So I think this is kind of like a parody of a RPG campaign in a box, like Gloomhaven. So if Gloomhaven seemed interesting to you, but it was like too expensive or too complex, this game might be the one for you. I'd recommend it. So we got that, got the open box, and we have this, which is the vault. As you can see here, as it says here, basically says don't open this. That's for later, so we won't. Opening this, we have some boxes that are empty, they're hollow. We have maps. Now this is where the coolest part of this entire game comes in. This big old baddie is your maps. They're paper, but the coolest thing is this right here. This is how they do their living campaign. So this is your scenario books and rules, your tokens, everything you need to play that part of your adventure that you are going to unlock is right here, and nothing else. So that way you don't mix up anything or accidentally open up the wrong rule books at the wrong time. It's all in here. And we're gonna go straight ahead and we're gonna open that later on. Never mind. So it is a portfolio that opens up, and it's got a bunch of different maps in it and monsters. Like, it's literally like those old 4th edition campaigns. All of the maps in the book for you. Like, literally all the prepping for that session is done for you. And it is a thin paper, so you do got to be cautious with this. If you're planning on drinking while playing, I probably recommend going to a Staples or a Michael's, whatever, or a UPS store or whatever you have that does laminating on large objects, and get them to laminate these. But they're really well drawn. You have your different tiles, your stuff's all laid out. I know they can't quite do this with Gloomhaven just because the maps are so huge and so diverse depending on where you go, but having maybe a booklet out there, they've started to do books with everything written on it, which I like that they did that with Frosthaven. You can buy them as add-ons, so people who like the tiles can keep the tiles for their games in D&D, or if you want the books, you can get the books. But I wish the next sort of like Frosthaven, like Sunhaven, whatever, uses these. These are really cool. It has all the enemies with their stuff on it already out. It has the map out for you to play, all the stuff laid out with letters to explain things to you. They're double-sided. It kind of like explains, like here has like, because there's space, has like the ready phase, the combat phase. These are really nice. I like this, and I am excited for it. I think this is my best part of this whole game so far, is this. Whoever made this idea, sorry about the glare, but here we go. A lot of reading, a lot of role playing, kind of a little warning here. If I can get that zoomed in, more focused. Here you go. Yeah, you have your warning, like what you need, kind of like your stuff, what bases you need, stuff like that, and how you lay stuff out. Basically, if you've seen the Gloomhaven sort of layout book, you've seen how this one works. Same idea, a lot more reading, at least in the intro. Then we have this one for your sort of like monster guide, or if you want to have somebody kind of be the DM, which explains how basically how the monsters are going to work for that part of the campaign. Basically how like this monster's gonna work and stuff. This basically tells you how to play the monsters throughout the next missions, kind of like what to reference, things like that. So everything you'll need to know for that level scenario will be in that booklet. So you don't have to worry about reading more rules or forgetting things. It will be there. And then next we have our sheets here. So your abilities, damage tokens, I'm guessing, traps. And then on this one we have, it looks like war markers, monsters, doors. Then we have markers, tokens, so you can kind of mark your class abilities, or if you don't want to play with minis, or for your initiative counter stuff. And then of course your other things and markers and stuff, everything you'll need. So with that, guys, this has been the unboxing of Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. Really sick looking board game. I would highly recommend if you want a cheap alternative to Gloomhaven, but you also want to have some fun with those who may not be super into role-playing games. This is a great alternative to that, a great fun parody of the living campaign board games like Gloomhaven out there, or something with monsters, the one that's like super monster heavy, bunch of miniatures, stuff like that. If you want to play games like that, this is that. It's beginner. I think this would be a beginner friendly Euro game if you wanted to play the 5th edition of adventure board games, campaign board games. This would be that, next to like say Legacy Pandemic or Legacy Risk if you want to play a more fantasy D&D campaign in a box. I get this. Or if you say you want to try a role-playing game out but you don't have a DM or somebody to play with a tryout, and you also can't get, say, the Jaws of the Lion starter box, or if you already have it, I would recommend picking this up anyways. I think this is going to be definitely on my top, until I actually play it, out of the idea behind it, this is definitely my top 5, top 10 board games of up there, maybe sixth favorite board game, potentially 5th favorite board game. But I'm going to be super excited. I got to paint through the Frosthaven miniatures, which I'm going to be doing after I do my Apex foam pieces for the rest of the board game. I'm basically on the tiny, minute pieces of the Apex board game. And once we're done that and we play a match, we will get to painting Frosthaven miniatures, the starters for that, so there's no spoilers. And then we will get to painting these models, which I'm excited for because they look detailed enough that they look sick and they're really nice, but they're not heavily detailed or small bits that are going to be super just pain in the ass to paint and reach. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this. I'm super excited for this game. This feels like a game I could bring somewhere to play if I wanted to play Gloomhaven with friends, but I didn't want to risk my board game because I'm super protective of my stuff and how it goes back and how people write on it and spill drinks and stuff. If I get the maps laminated and I buy some just basic generic sleeves, which I have a crap ton because I get them for that reason, then I can play this with my friends when I'm out and about or on my birthday or something, and I'm not going to worry or be sad at breaking. And I can always get it again. It was only like $100, which for a board game like this, dirt cheap compared to others. So with that, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you guys were as excited as I am for this. But yeah, we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Click the video. Click it. Click the video. You know you want to. Click it.